welcome to, okay, we're good now. Okey doke. Good afternoon, all. It's November 21st, 2016. We still do not have snow, but we're praying tonight that it does come. This is the regular meeting of Town Council. This is a very important evening because we will be swearing in a few individuals shortly. But firstly, let's do roll call.
Butler,
Here.
Circus, Mattson,
Here.
Shank, Good.
Here.
Okay, we have two that are missing. Rhonda?
Can I get a handheld, please?
And what is happening, we're getting a handheld mic for those of you who might be watching, either Granicus or watching TV. And this will be, I'll be sworn in as mayor, and Tom Good will be sworn in as a council member tonight.
Okay, Marky. Okay, I, Rhonda B. Coxon, clerk within and for said municipality, do hereby certify that at a regular election held in said municipality on the 8th day of November of 2016, Marky Butler received the greatest number of votes cast for any one person for the office of mayor in and said for municipality. As it appears in the official canvass of the votes cast at the election in said Snowmass Village, made on the 8th day of November 2016, and that said Marky Butler is duly elected mayor as foresaid. And witness, therefore, with my hand and seal, the 21st day of November 2016, Rhonda B. Coxon.
Thank you all. I, Marky Butler, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the town of Snowmass Village, and will faithfully perform the duties of the mayor upon which I am about to enter. Marky Butler. Oh, how about you? Love it. Oh, I have to sign another document. I've only signed my name 150 times already today. Okay.
Okay. I don't know how to spell it.
I practiced.
Oh, it's Tom Good's turn to be sworn as a council person. Okay, go ahead.
I, Rhonda B. Coxon, clerk within and said for municipality, do hereby certify that at a regular election held in said municipality on the 8th day of November 2016, Tom Good received the greatest number of votes cast for any one person for the office of council member. And in for said municipality, as appears from the official canvass of the votes cast at the election in said Snowmass Village, made on the 8th day of November 2016, and that said Tom Good is duly elected council member as foresaid. Witnessed by my hand and seal, official seal, Rhonda B. Coxon. You want to hold it? You want me to? You're going to hold your right hand up.
I, Tom Good, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the town of Snowmass Village, and will faithfully perform the duties of the council member upon which I am about to enter. Kept the band together.
Oof.
This is right here.
Yes, sir.
Just one second here. I just want to give my wife a hug.
And thank you for allowing him, Julie.
Kissing citizens in meetings.
We have our own meeting later on.
You know, it's always emotional every time we have an election. It's very emotional for all of us who ran this time, not only at the local level, but also for those who ran at the national level. Until you go through campaigning, it's pretty tough.
It's a humbling experience. I mean,
is.
you know, you're knocking on doors and you want everybody to know you want the job, and And this, for me, this year, last year's recall election was a shorter period of time, and this one was like, my gosh, when's it going to be over? You know, I mean, I just wanted it to be over.
Yeah, you just wanted it to be done.
You know, between watching all the national TV commercials and everything else that went along with it, it was. Anyway, I'm very grateful for everybody that has supported me, and I'm happy to be here.
We're so glad you're here, and we're glad that Billy is continuing his role of council person.
Thank you.
And to all in our community, everyone who sits at this table is very proud to serve you as community citizens. So, okay. I'm going to move into reading a proclamation, and this is a number 02, series of 2016. And this is very important for our local businesses. Somebody's whistling. Somebody's iPhone, could be mine. Proclaiming a Saturday, November 26, 2016 as Small Business Saturday. And let me read the proclamation because I do want to make sure our local community gets out there on Saturday and does go up and shop and spend some money for all of our local businesses. Small business is the engine of our local economy. From the small retailer on Main Street to the family-owned restaurants that bring our neighborhoods to life, they are what keep America going. The small, locally owned businesses of Snowmass Village are vital to our city's economic health. And whereas small businesses provide the jobs, create the products, and develop the services that drive our nation and community forward, and whereas the U.S. Small Business Administration states that small businesses create 65% of all net new local jobs, and whereas most economists state that for every $100 spent at a small local retailer, $68 will return to the community through taxes, payroll, and donations to local schools and charities. And whereas the people of Snowmass Village are grateful to our local small business owners for their generous contributions to the quality of life we all enjoy. And whereas we join the U.S. Small Business Administration, local chambers of commerce, and other community organizations in supporting America's locally owned small businesses. Now therefore, I, Marky Butler, Mayor of Snowmass Village, Colorado, do hereby proclaim Saturday, November 26, 2016 as Small Business Saturday in the town of Snowmass Village, Colorado, and urge all residents of our great community to join the rest in America in shopping and dining at small locally owned businesses. In witness whereof, I have hereto sent my hand and caused the seal of the town of Snowmass Village to be affixed on this 21st day of November 2016. Thank you all. Get out there and shop. Okie dokie. We're going to move on to public comment. Do I have anyone in the community that would like to come forward and make a public come on up? Go to a mic and state your name and about 3 to 5 minutes of.
Hi, I'm John Coulter. I'd just like to request on behalf of the Daily Townhome Association, I'm on the board of directors there, a slot for a future agenda. We'd like to discuss a retaining wall in the back of our complex that needs some repair.
Where is this one at?
Daily Townhomes,
Daily
corner of Faraway
Townhomes,
Road.
okay, Sure.
John, is that, am I correct? Maybe Robert even know. Did that fall through once before also or something?
Yes,
Yeah,
during construction.
right, correct, okay.
Okay, I know something about the issue, but this
Okay.
is what you,
Just
We'll honor the
request a
request.
slot. Is there anything else we need to do for that?
okay,
Okay.
sounds good.
Thanks
Thank you
very
all.
much.
That was short, sweet, not even 5 minutes. It's 30
I think it
seconds.
was brought to our attention in the spring. Is that right, Clint?
We've been looking at it for a year now, at least, probably.
At least it was even before.
And
I think it came-
there's been a number of investigations, and there's been contractors on site.
Yep.
And, it comes down to its, responsibility levels of, how best to get it fixed.
Okay,
But the history for that, does it go back to the original installation in regards to before CO was issued?
Well, the short history is, it's a town project. They're deed restricted properties, so the town
Right.
led the construction of the project. There was some during construction. After the COs were issued and whatnot, I'm not sure if it's, I mean, it's obviously there's the wall is tilting. And so at this point, with the town not in ownership and the HOA in control of that, Joe and I met on site, walked through, brought contractors on to say, here's some opportunities for fixing it. And I think what their request is how best do we take that process forward?
Yeah, it has a history. I've heard about it for 6 years when I was on council, and, okay. Okay, well, make sure we follow up, and thank you all very
Thank you.
much for coming this evening. Let's move on into the consent agenda. We have some draft agendas and work sessions, and then second reading of ordinance number 7. Thank you,
Tom.
guys. Have a good evening, and go snow. Second reading of the ordinance amending Article number 2, parking regulations of Chapter 8, vehicles and traffic of Snowmass Village Municipal Code. Even though it's not an agenda item per se, it's on the consent agenda, I think we would be wise. First, I'll take a motion, and then a second, and then just to remind everybody who's coming back into town just a little bit about the parking, because there is some changes. So, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to.
Thank you, Tom. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Dave, you want to, you and Brian, you have both worked very, very hard on this, so I know I'm getting a few questions because change is always difficult. So, you want to go for it? Just tell people the Cliff Note version.
Okay, the gist here is basically the town is moving away from a fixed permits to your windshield to a digitized license plate reading system. So when you come into the office, this might be the last go-around where you have to submit documents identifying you to your vehicle. Once we have your vehicle plate information in the system, then we will be able to renew permits annually. So the changes to the ordinance is to bring it into, make it consistent with that digital technology. It leaves us open. We wrote it so that or Brian wrote it so that it would stay open whether we choose to use permits or whether we choose to use a digital permitting system. It's all kind of the same. In a nutshell, that's about it. It's just you're no longer going to have a sticker on your car. We'll have a license plate reader set up in a vehicle that will go through the parking lots and monitor them appropriately. And I would like to say Dave Harris has done a great job in getting this implemented as well.
Shout out to Dave.
Nothing's changed with Tessa in a registration, right? That all stays the same, or has there been more complicated process of the, going from the permit to the digital?
I would say that all things new kind of come with a little bit of baggage to it. So this go-around is a little challenging in that it's new for us too, and trying to implement and make sure that whether you're paying by check, cash, credit card, those kind of things, we want to make sure that there's kind of a protocol in the permitting system that you need to follow. It helps us a lot with reconciliation. It's producing reports at the end of each day of what we've sold, so loss control is improved. There's less cash handling. The Visa card reader, though it does charge you $3 or whatever it is, 1%, whichever's greater, that's still an aspect of Municipay, but all of it integrated together, I think it's moving us forward. It's going faster.
So that is the preferred way to pay then for people who are watching to pay for the permits, is the card or the check, or which is the preferred?
You think? Well,
Check saves you the $3 or the 3%
Okay.
or 1%, but you're welcome to use a credit card. If you want to get in and get out, cash and check are usually the easiest ways to do that. But most of the data migrated from the old database into the new system, so most residents are finding that they're already in the system, and it's just confirming the information.
Good. And if you get a new car, you just bring the stuff into the.
Correct. You just show that it's your new car, you're replacing another one, we void the old one, add the license plate to the new one, and away you go. It's pretty simple.
It sounds very simple, straightforward. I'm sure it was a lot of work.
So the system integrates with citation software as well, so the two systems are connected. we should become a little bit more efficient, but we will remain flexible in our enforcement and obviously give a slow start to this as people get used to the permitting process, and we'll kind of help people along till they get squared away. The citation software will have a mobile app, not unlike Front Range. So those who are unfortunate enough to get a citation can actually use their smartphones and go right to a payment option and either pay the citation, or they may also be able to go into an appeal process if they have a defining reason to argue the ticket. So all the way around, I think it's going to be a better system.
Sounds good. So, have you had any problems so far with people coming in, or?
We haven't really turned it on yet till Thursday, so
Oh,
the permit system starts with the opening of the ski area on Thursday typically. And like I said, it'll be a casual start, get everybody going in the same direction quickly, but we'll have an idea then.
how about
it's
people
going.
just coming into the office? Has there been people? as you
The
explained?
biggest thing is when they run into me instead of Tessa, and I have to stumble my way through the new program, so, but,
And will there be an option to do it online and not come into the office?
that's a possibility. The high level of turnover, particularly in leases that go on in the valley, that's a bit of a concern. We do get a master list from Joe Coffey, so we know most of the people in subsidized housing, but the free market leases, that's always a bit of a wild card. You need to reconfirm that. We are sort of looking, because we verify property owners through the tax rolls. As long as you're on the tax rolls, there's some grounds for you to move forward based on that as well. So that's a possibility in the future.
In the past, I think it was at 1 p.m., you could basically park in the numbered lots. Is it going to be continually checked, or is that kind of 1 o'clock rule going to still be in
Yeah, the
place?
enforcement will be from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m. each day. So after 1 p.m., the lots essentially open up and are usable by anybody.
Don't make us give away all our secrets.
Well, I think you'd referred to it as King Solomon Gate or something in the past. It's come open. But the town, the ordinance does talk about day skier parking, but the town doesn't do any day skier parking, right? That's all Skico and the Base Village Garage. And Two
Two
Creeks.
Creeks Base Village Garage, and the town does sell gold passes and senior permits to people that request them that are basically day skiers, but the assumption is they're here for the season. Or, so they might be down valley local people.
And have we ever considered an HOV option? Because I guess we're a little inconsistent in that they offer it in Aspen and Highlands as well.
The challenge for the community is, to a certain extent, that the core area parking that the town manages, which is lots 1 through 6 and 8 through 13, the most restricted parking is in the core, which is 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. And there really isn't a lot of surplus capacity to be able to encourage additional parkers into those areas. The lodging community is already a little taxed. Residents are looking at those for working residents that are trying to access businesses in the mall. So there's a lot of pressure on those lots already, and they're the first ones to fill. So it's difficult to offer that and to monitor that in some way.
So it would really be more of an issue for the ski company to offer it in, say, the Two Creeks lot, or,
Yeah.
I think they do that.
They
already.
do, yeah.
but not in the Base Village Garage, right?
Not
Oh,
in the
no,
Base
that's
Village
owned by
Garage,
Space
no.
Village.
Yeah.
But you can get an HOV for Lot C or Two Creeks.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have we had a second? All in support?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Thank you, Council.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys, and great job. Sounds very simple, but I'm sure it's taken hours and hours and hours and hours. And
Yeah, Dave needs to go to Bahamas or something.
I'm leaving on Friday. Okay.
You going Friday?
Yes, I'm going to Belize. I need a break. Yeah. Look at y'all smile.
Go to the beach, not go ski.
Yeah, well, let's get the mountain open. This will be a very short agenda this evening. We do not have any public hearings. We don't have any policy or legislative public hearings. Administrative reports, there are none. Next gets into town council reports and action. And this is the appointment to the think tank committee. Julianne Wood is not here this evening, so I think Clint's going to take care of it.
Standing in for Julianne. So at the last council meeting, the council reviewed a number of applications for the think tank for the upcoming community comprehensive plan. You went through a number of names and tried your best to whittle it down to 9 names, with the understanding that you also have 2 council members and 2 planning commission members on there. And so from the notes we took from your work session, we believe these are the 9 individuals that you suggested be considered as part of this formal appointment. As part of that review process, you asked to make sure that we contact the folks and make sure that they could attend the meetings, in which we did, and they have responded yes. And also you asked that we contact them to see if anything else had changed. And the only significant change was with the name number 3, Jeremy Kay. I know part of the council's discussion was because he works on the mall, that seemed to be a good addition. What we understand from a discussion with him is that he the studio in the mall, he's no longer going to be renting anymore. So his place of business will not be there, as we understood previously.
Clint and I talked about this about a half hour ago. One thing that one of our council persons who's not represented tonight, looking at the women, male, and then that individual also did, if you will, age grouping. So we were just a little lighter on people 30, we were heavy on 30 to 45, and lighter on the 50, really the 60 plus.
Baby boomers?
Yeah, the baby boomers. We talked about, and this could happen with Jeremy coming on. We had a woman candidate who's been here for years, little older, lives up on Far Away. Yeah. And I don't remember that much. I know she's an interior designer. Is that, I need a,
She's
Hold
on her resume, she talked about, she's been here since 67. So.
yeah, she has been on and off, and, yeah, Upton? No, that's, yes. I can't even read my own writing. So the thought was that might help us in that demographic.
Marley Spatz?
Yeah, yes.
Upton Spatz.
Upton Spatz. Marilee Upton Spatz.
So do we want to replace Jeremy with
Yeah, that's what,
Marilee?
yeah.
First of all, has Jeremy Clint, did he back out or not interested? Or are we?
No, he's still interested.
Still interested?
Yeah, I didn't want to imply that he wasn't interested, but
Okay.
I just wanted you to know that I know as part of your discussions was that he, was on the mall, and he's not there anymore. So I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
So at the moment, we have, is it 9 that are listed, correct?
Yes. And then from planning, my understanding, Patrick Kilty and Tom Fritzstein. So we wind up with several architects, which, and they're different. Jim does more or smaller commercial in home. Tom is, as you all know, is from Chicago, big corporate, those great big skyscraper type guys in plans communities. So that it was of note, and with Jeremy going off, that's not another architect, so quite frankly, I personally wasn't that concerned. Any other thoughts you all have?
Well, I think it's good to have people who are involved in the community. If he's not going to be here, then I think it makes sense to replace him, and Marilee looks like a good option.
I think she probably, I know her just from walking my dogs and talking with her, and she's very delightful, very smart, very bright. Um, this Kenan Foreman, what's his occupation? I know he's active in the community and, as you said, with Nordic.
Yeah, with the Alpine ski team. Um, I think his wife is the major breadwinner, and he's been very active in raising the kids. But he's a smart guy. I think he'd be a real asset.
And I think, Clint, you told me he's on a nonprofit soccer.
I've worked with him with Aspen United when, as part of the poster plan, we talked about opening up our fields more to Aspen United and those nonprofit use. And so he's approached us through that and been great to work with, and brought some opportunities to us. And we haven't solved anything yet, but we've started the conversation for sure.
So this is I missed last week. There's 9 listed. They're hoping to keep the think tank at 12. That's including council?
We made it 13 last week.
Oh, we did, okay.
You made the executive.
Oh, I didn't see that in my
Yeah,
notes.
and
I didn't
you
get
know
the
what?
I didn't get
In
the memo.
Yeah, in reading that, we said 12, and we should have said,
Listed
the
in text,
council
see that
said
part?
13.
I didn't get the memo. That's okay. I mean, are we planning on breaking the groups up to 2 and then bringing them together, or that's obviously up to the
No,
people we've hired?
it'll be a group of 13 folks, and, it'll be an opportunity to kind of make sure that, when ideas need to be bounced off and, input on something needs to be garnered, that's what this group will be. And, they've been very clear, it's not a steering committee,
And
they're not gonna, it's just an
It's not a
opportunity to make
regular
sure they're not
meeting.
going down some kind of path that ought not be gone down kind of thing.
As far as the planning commissioners that are listed, have they been contacted and have they agreed?
At the last planning commission meeting, yes, they had a discussion amongst themselves,
Oh,
and
good.
Kilty and Fritzstein were the two
Okay,
that,
good. And Patrick's okay with it?
I think he put himself forward and did it.
Wow,
I think
that's
he's
great.
more than okay, yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
Okay. So I told Clint I'd be willing to represent the older,
Baby boomer?
Marm
and I'm
Sherry.
not 70, so I told Mr. Circus, I am not 70.
I think he's there next week or something like that.
I don't comment on age because I don't want to be challenged in terms of discriminatory language.
I'm not going to comment on it at all, except that he mentioned it to me. That's the only reason. But I'm, on these think tanks, what do you think, what is it going to be, one night a week, or is it going to be once?
Once a month is kind of what our best guess was. So we told the committee, and it's not, they wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to be an ongoing meeting that you meet no matter what, that they would call a meeting when they needed to bounce something off of them. And their determination or their experience was that by doing it that way, it makes sure that no one's going to a dead meeting, that they'll call them when they have stuff to talk about, but they didn't want to have a set date and time to meet because they didn't always need to.
And then the meetings will be here at Town Hall, I assume.
I'm assuming, but we haven't got that far.
Yeah, one of the other conversations, I'm willing to participate. If you call a meeting at noon, that's like chances are slim to none.
Right, we understand.
Early morning or late evening.
And from the looks of everybody
Most of-
here, too,
They're all busy.
everybody's got a daytime job.
And that's the
Evening job.
coordination going forward. And, when we just, to the larger comprehensive plan discussion, when we have community meetings, we made it very clear, you're gonna need to have one kind of in the morning for the folks that are working at night, and you're gonna have one in the afternoon or late afternoon. I
Yep.
mean, we know there's lots of different shifts going on, and we need to be accommodating to all those different schedules.
Well, I'm happy to be a part of it, with the option to be able to tap one of my fellow council people if I'm not
I'd be
gonna
willing
be
to join, share that with you, Bill.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah, I'd be
We
happy
could trade
to.
off and on so we could have I think everybody
there.
could
So long
alternate.
as we have, 2
Yes.
council people
A
represented.
representative there, yeah.
So all of us would be able to participate, but if one of us can't get there, call one of our colleagues.
How about if we'll put all 3 of you on the list, and we pretty much know that there's the chance of getting 3 of you to the same meeting are about 0. And then if it happened to be 3, then
So
so be it.
maybe Alyssa's
you say
watching.
s-
I think
slim and
Alyssa's
none?
watching. and
I just
we
know
could-
you
we
guys
could
have
volunteer Alyssa.
daytime.
Right. Should I text her?
Yeah,
I know you-
I know she's watching, so we could even volunteer Alyssa.
Well, she was interested.
No,
but-
I know she is.
Yeah, everybody's interested.
Everybody, I believe everybody's
And we
interested.
can do that, and put all 4, and then just know that, we can track when these things come up and work to get 2 of you there, if that works for you guys.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So we'd be the mayor, Counselor Good, Counselor Mattson, and Counselor Schenk. and we
And
work out.
And
would
Circus
there be a
wants-
problem if,
Circus wants to participate too.
what if we were to, if we had two representatives from council there and others wanted to just sit back in the back row and not necessarily,
Uh-huh.
and just watch?
You have to notice it, that's three in a
Well,
room.
it wouldn't be a regular meeting. We can, that's,
You can't do
working
that?
with Rhonda, we can say that you're all expected to be there, but
Oh,
it wouldn't, you're not
I
making
see.
decisions and you're not. that's-
Quasi judicial thing,
Yeah, we just don't want to get ourselves in trouble.
okay.
And that's the stuff that, I mean, again, the recommendation was two. If we're gonna go two, it'd be easy. But if you're saying, hey, we wanna, I think you need to be careful about your, I'm gonna use the word undue influence. Because you are elected, you do carry a little bit more weight. And you wanna make sure that that influence is appropriate and you're listening to the rest of the folks on the committee. And so
Yep.
it's just a matter of approach, when you're on that, and making sure that you're listening more than you're probably
That
talking.
makes-
And
that
the
makes
reason why I say that we have to be really cautious is this is a community plan, and the final approval comes through council. So
No, you're
the
absolutely correct.
lesser, I mean, this is one of those, you listen 80% or 90%, and then,
By the way, these will not be broadcasted, the think tanks.
They'll be open to the community. I mean, no one's gonna be shut out of them. They're not
Right.
secret smoke-filled rooms or anything. So
So-
we're not planning on televising them.
So if anybody wants to sit in and open to the community, as you say,
Yeah.
will they be able to have a public comment?
We don't have a format. My guess is no. We probably keep the comments
Yeah.
for the think tank of that meeting. But, on the 10th, we've got a meeting set up with the community, and then January 10th, and then the whole week is the week in February, the 18th to the 23rd, that's set up for public comment, so an entire week there. And then, of course, any kind of written or verbal, there's all sorts of opportunity for input, and we will continue to do that. I think the think tank, it's not gonna be, I don't see it being really formal, so I don't think it's gonna be an open take a vote. It's, if somebody showed up, then
So
it's a polite community. I don't think
will
it's
you
gonna-
be facilitating this then? Or who?
TUPDC will be facilitating.
consultants.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so,
And Julianne and I will certainly be there. The consultants will be saying, hey, here's what we'll be doing. And what we've committed doing is using technology, so if someone needs to call in, great, we'll figure out all those kinds of methods that we need to do to make that communication happen easily.
Any other questions? Okay, we don't need approval on this, or do we?
It'd be great to do the citizens, and then I'm gonna need a little bit more direction on how you wanna do the council. And if you wanted to have more discussion when you're all here, we can do that. Or if you just want us to say, we'll invite, and per meeting, we'll figure out which two are going, or it's kinda up to you on how you wanna do that.
first of all, do we need to contact, is it Mary Lee or Marley?
I mean, her application's in, so I'm
Right,
assuming
so
she's very willing.
She's very willing, so there's no need to follow
No,
up on it.
no, I don't think so.
That's my
Okay.
expectation.
Okay.
Everybody that we contacted to double check after the last meeting
Okay.
was still in, so I would assume it's hold true.
Okay, should I have, I'm gonna take a motion for support for the community members.
Motion to approve?
And just to confirm that motion, it's all the members listed, less Jeremy Kay, and with the addition of Marley Upton
Yes,
Spatz.
yes.
Okay.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion on the community members? All in support?
Aye.
Pose same sign.
And so for the council, then the question is, I mean, we can do it however, there's no hard and fast rule or law. It's really kind
I
of.
would say you appoint two people on council, but all council people could be alternates.
Okay.
That's what so I want to make sure that, if I could not be here, or Bill could not be here, phone call over to Tom, say, hey, can you cover me?
Right.
And that's all within the scope of what
And we seem to do that anyway with our other,
we do a good
representative.
job of covering for one
So
another.
do you want to make the mayor and Councilor Mattson the primaries, and then, or, I mean, it's up to you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
that's fine, that's
Mhm.
fine.
Let's do that, and then that way we can keep tabs on the schedule and call in alternates as needed.
I think it's great if we do it that way.
Want to make a motion, just to make it official?
I'll make a motion to nominate Markey and Bill Mattson
To be the council representatives?
for the town council representatives for the think tank appointments.
And the alternate.
Any alternates being any other member of council.
Okay,
Second?
any further discussion? All in support?
Aye.
Okay. Next item is council reports. Bill, you want to go?
I missed our last Nordic Council meeting, unfortunately, but I know it was on the agenda to discuss the Owl Creek Chase. I just hadn't gotten an update as to what they talked about. But I'm glad that that discussion's ongoing, and hopefully we can
Good,
bring that to a higher level.
good, good. And to all who participated and made the Thanksgiving potluck so wonderful, thank you. Shout-outs go to Alpine Bank and the Weston and the Rotary Club and Town of Snowmass Village. Well done. Huh?
Snowmass
Oh, the
Chapel.
chapel. Woo! Chapel.
Good catch.
Thank you.
I think at the last meeting, I've talked about our last meeting at CORE, and we are, as I know, planning on having, and I'll have to check with Mona, but somewhere on the
It's the 19th of December.
the 19th, I think they're scheduled to come in, correct, for an update for the emissions inventory data stuff, and maybe when Mona's here, we could finalize that meeting. I think they're planning a meeting here in Snowmass on the 18th of January, but it'd be during the day. It'd be, I don't know, like, 9 to 12 or something like that, or whatever it is, but we'll confirm that.
They just need a place to meet.
We just,
Yeah.
well, they have not met out here in Snowmass.
Yeah, if she sends us an email, I'm sure we can get her a spot.
Okay, so, other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Clint, anything? Travis,
I'm
anything?
gonna set a record. I'm not gonna get in the way of setting a record.
I think on your comment last week, you said there was some mention of the button on the roundabout crossing.
I know they were down there today. They've got crews going to move them around. If you go down, some of them, they need to be easily reachable, whether in a wheelchair or all sorts of reasons. So most of those buttons are getting moved to be more easily reached. The one that you brought up at a meeting recently on the Brush Creek uphill side of the roundabout is on the button's on the downhill side of the post, and so I think they're going to be moving that button to the street side of the post, so that you can see it no matter which way you come at it.
So there's one button, but just on the front side. Got it.
Correct. But there's a number of those changes I know they're working through, trying to get them all.
I do have another question on the consent.
Thank you.
Excuse me, on the draft agenda. On December 12th, we have listed as the Snowmass Discovery Update.
Correct.
Is that going to be part of the MOU?
So, this came up at I believe, the last council meeting. You all asked for an update. And I don't know if it's going to be the MOU or, as I've said, just Snowmass Discovery is working with trying to get their package put together and how they want to present it and how they can deliver the product. And so I think it's going to be an update where we are with that. And if with any luck, if we know where it's going to be, we'd have a solid draft of the MOU. But depending on how they get it put together, we had a pretty good draft, probably a 70% draft of Snowmass Discovery. If other players get involved, we'd probably have to tweak that. So I think what I would see that operating as is here's the update, here's some discussion points.
So we are planning on, which is not too far away, December 12th.
Yep.
For an
Yep.
update.
We're fully planning on having an update
Okay.
to you all on what's going on and where everybody stands on the issue.
Thank you very much, Clint.
I am unfortunately going to miss that meeting, Rhonda, so you could take note. December 12th, I'll be gone.
So we're down to 3 then, right? I think Circus is gone then.
Yep, Bob's out that same date.
We could make it happen. Got to keep it moving.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no, and it'll be an update, and what I'm hoping is that we'll have a solid, so you'll be able to read it, and you'll say, here's where we're at, and here's what's going on, and here's how we're proceeding, so.
Great.
Good stuff.
I'm knocking on wood, as I say.
Okay. Any other business? If not, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second it.
All in support?
Do you want to discuss it at all?
There's no discussion needed for that one.
Aye.
Okay, opposed, same sign. Enjoy, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy your friends and family, and hopefully we do start getting some snow out there. Maybe snowing now, I can't really tell.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, okay,
Very good.
good, we're done. That was quick.